Alrighty, everybody. Apologies for the last stream. Kind of got cut off. Said it was reconnecting again. So we started this stream here today. We're going to keep going for a little while longer. It's only 11:15. Should have a good chunk of time with you guys remaining. So sorry about the last stream cutting off there. Yeah, we are back here in Chinatown with you today, taking your questions. Had a really awesome conversation on the last stream, starting to get a lot of more viewers and subscribers to that as well. So thrilled to be there. But also super excited to be back with you guys right now. We are still here in Chinatown. I'll chill here for a minute before we start kind of heading maybe a little closer back to the Capitol building and whatnot and all that good stuff. Going to show you the Capital One Arena and some other topics as well. So we had a beautiful day out here in DC, right? Gorgeous time. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry about that, everybody. But okay, so we are back here in Washington, D.C. in front of the, excuse me, the Capital One building. Today, this is the sports arena where the Georgetown Hoyas will play a lot of their big time conference games. And gosh, they're not in the Big East anymore. They're in, goodness, is that the American? I can't remember what conference that is anymore. So maybe Big East still. But however, just happy to be back with you out here in front of the Capital One Arena. I'm going to be taking your questions and comments today. A comment from @RonWinNant says, "Good morning, Ronwin. Thank you for joining the stream this morning as we are here in downtown Washington D.C. Taking your questions, letting you guys know what is going on today. Had to restart the stream due to sometimes it will say reconnecting and it will kind of circle around the screen, and that's how the page more or less kind of collapses, and I have to restart the stream. So no problem though. We can just get right back off to where we were and be hanging out with you guys this morning. So here, let's get the yeah, this poll has been working like magic recently. Let's get support the war in Iran poll. Let's get that bad boy back up. Yeah, we are here back in downtown DC, Capital One Arena, right where also the Washington Capitals play their hockey games here, as well as the Washington Wizards, the NBA team. They'll play basketball in that arena. Even though that might all soon be changing if you were here yesterday, we walked by RFK Stadium. So yeah, USS Liberty 420 says stream got nuked. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it got a little. It told me it was reconnecting, and then whenever it does that, it basically makes it go black on your guys' end, and the stream basically just gets cut off there anyway. So just got to restart. Just got to wait for things to repopulate. We had a strong last stream, so this one could be even stronger because we gained last stream we gained 9 new subscribers, so that puts us at above 450 now. That should put us above 450, and we're only 50 subscribers away now from our goal of 500. So thank you all again. If you're a Bear and USS Liberty, yeah, thank you for both subscribing, and thanks for joining this stream again. Hello again, guys. Hope you're still having a great morning out there. Yeah, we're just still going to be walking around infrastructure in DC, showing you guys the city, having the same conversation we were before. We're happy to take your questions. And if you guys have friends that you think may be interested in this channel or this community, please feel free to send it their way. Would love to have everybody on the team. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, would love if you hit that like button, left a comment, subscribe to the channel. That's a wonderful way in which you can support me. Going to go live tonight, going to do Mississippi elections, cover those for you guys, let you know which candidates are moving on to November. And as well, kind of tee up our main show for tomorrow night, which is all about the Kurds. I'm going to be talking about the Kurds tomorrow night. So, yes, I don't know a whole lot about them, just kind of wanted to learn a little bit about them as well. So, but it's hard to believe it's already March. Yeah, we're already in mid-March. It is spring weather, it feels like, at least. With consistently, now it's been a couple days in a row where it's been under, yeah, it's been at least above 40 or 50 degrees with a nice breeze, nice little warmth from the sun as well. So a very nice day out in downtown DC once again. Happy to be with you. Would love to chit chat and get to know you guys a little better as we build this channel. Yeah, if anyone has any questions or comments, we'd love to take them, and we'll get to the bottom of it, right? Anything goes here. This is a free speech. Free speech is supreme on this channel. Anything that the YouTube algorithm will let through, I'll try and acknowledge it. And we're going to head towards, trying to think of a good spot to go right now. We could head further. Are you walking the DC Pentagram? Oh, so the Pentagon, we'll do a stream out there here coming up soon, but we are actually decently far away from the Pentagon right now. Like, I'd say if I was by foot, it would take me at least 2 hours probably to get there, maybe an hour and a half by foot. But yeah, we're kind of right in the middle of the financial district, I'd say, in DC, where a lot of these shops, the sports stadium is, whatnot. Okay, pentagram. Sorry, I was just thinking maybe Pentagon was mistyped there. No, I haven't seen that stuff yet, though. Yes, I guess that's why I wasn't too aware of what you guys were talking about. But I'm happy to check it out, though. We can definitely look at it. um, and see what's going on. Uh, Grow Maloney says, "Go Wizards!" Yeah, go Wizards. Fortunately, they're always they struggle a little bit. I think last year they were the worst team in the league. Oh my gosh! Whoa! Okay, let's see. The pentagram. Okay, I might know what you guys are referencing now a little bit. Um, Goodness. Yeah, like how, yeah. I think I've seen stuff like that, but now that you described it a little bit, do it now. Am I on it right? I don't think I'm right directly on the step though. Okay, let's see. Um, 927 says looking good, Alden. Thank you for the compliment. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, bro. The pentagram represents the star of Bethlehem that led the wise men to the virgin birth of God in the flesh. Hey, Gray 777 says, Biggie Smallston make those glasses look that good. Thank you, brother. Yeah. And oh yeah, yesterday was the anniversary, or I guess not anniversary, but like the date of his death, I believe. He died. He died, I think, 8 years ago yesterday. Maybe closer to 30. He's probably been dead around 30 years now, but yeah, I think yesterday was that day actually. They're saying whoever sits in the White House is God. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I'll hopefully look at that a little more here coming up. Yeah, it is a gorgeous day out here, though, in DC. Yeah, man, like talking about. Actually, here, let's go back towards. We're going to head back this way, head kind of back towards the Capitol here a little bit, but we'll show you guys Union Station as well. Union Station is a fun little, shouldn't say little, but one of the more unique aspects of Washington, D.C. And Bear adds, there's an empty tomb in the Capitol building basement too. B4S, the tomb was supposed to hold George Washington, actually, the Capitol crypt. So when I worked in the Senate, I would give tours of the Capitol to people. And yeah, you can, yeah, right under that is where he was supposed to be. And but Washington died in 1799, and I don't think the Capitol that part of the Capitol was, the construction was completed until, I believe, more like the 1820s, I think, if I'm not mistaken. If not 1820s, 1810s probably. But it was several years after Washington had passed away that the crypt was completed. I believe if that's, I believe that's the skull and bones bullshit, right? That's what George Bush did. Yeah, I believe him and John Kerry. Yeah, I think that if you, whether it was a debate or didn't um, that reporter that asked about it, didn't he like die a couple of days after that interview? Like, isn't that insane? Did you guys see that? What's the uh, let's see. So what's the real purpose? Be- because why build a crypt for a man who was already buried? Yeah, I think it was either in the architect plans or um, there was a real attempt to move him. I just don't think it panned out. But that's something we can, that would be a good idea to try to dig an inch deeper on that question, though. 'Cause, yeah, it is kind of odd. Liberty says, for real, get out your shovel, boys. Um, um, Bear says the Washington portrays Washington as God sitting on a heavenly throne. That is true. So if you go, when we're outside of the Capitol and we have it on the Capitol Dome, the crescent on the inside of the Capitol is this painting, and it depicts Washington as a god. There's people like Zeus and Poseidon included within the graph or the graphic. So, but it's the exact opposite of what Washington wanted his memory to be remembered as, because he did his 2 terms and then essentially relinquished power and allowed Adams or the next people to become president. Okay, let's see. Sean Kearns 2365 says USA take out Cuba, free Cuba. Grow Maloney says, Alden, who's your favorite president in history? Ooh, that's a good question. I really like, I think Eisenhower was a cool guy. Yeah, some of Eisenhower's stuff, right? I really, yeah, Eisenhower for sure. I would also go with, what's up, man? Sorry, man, I got to head to a meeting. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was a homeless guy trying to ask me for an interview or something. Yeah, so that's another thing. Before I continue with the question, if you're ever in a big city like this, even when you're on the phone, even when you're doing whatever, always be aware of your surroundings. Even if you're not in a big city, in your everyday life, always be aware of what's happening around you. And if there's ever, like, if your gut feeling is ever like you need to remove yourself from the area, the situation. When it comes to homeless people, don't make eye contact. Just look away, ignore. Just get yourself out of that situation as quickly as possible. So, okay, so back to the favorite president. Yeah, Eisenhower. Also, I think Lincoln preserved the Union, right? As well. So a couple of those good fellas I admire. So everybody, if you're just now joining the stream, would love if you hit that like button, answer our poll. Today we're talking about war in Iran a little bit, but also taking your questions as well. And would love if you're new to the channel, if you hit that subscribe button so you can join us on the next stream. We're out here walking around DC, giving you life advice, taking your questions, and all that good jazz. Okay, so back to the comments. Gerardo Garcia says, LOL, I thought this wasn't a war. Sean says our Air Force plus Navy are kicking ass. Grow Maloney with some support for Castro. Bear says DC sits on the land ceded by Maryland and Virginia, giving you the Virgin Mary. USS Liberty says, I love the Rough Rider stories. DMX, those 3 random words. His favorite president is Truman. Nixon, Nixon, he was also chill. I love the all the peace signs as well. I think a very cool president in that regard, at least. Liberty says, I highly recommend everyone getting a 3D printer before they start getting super expensive because of the tariffs. 3 random words says, Nixon YouTube shorts are very interesting. He knew foreign policy. USS Liberty says, it's crazy how many homeless people are in Washington, D.C. These politicians should be ashamed. And that's why I don't go to the city. And Aloni says FDR was the best president, hands down. So yeah, I saw a little wide view of opinions here. Happy to have you guys on the chat this morning. Had to restart the stream a little bit ago because every now and then YouTube will say reconnecting, and for whatever reason it just totally axes the stream. It will just totally get rid of it. So just had to do a little reboost. We're still out here talking with you guys. Now we're going through Judiciary Square. Right now, another neighborhood in DC. Oh goodness. Yeah. Yeah, there's always some kind of construction going on. So yeah, 64 of you have voted in the poll. About 62% of you say no to war in Iran. 38% of you say yes, which is about on par of recent polls. Okay, let's see a couple new comments. He gave us welfare and nonsense. Nixon was dog crap at foreign policy. Nixon was smart. He seen what they do to Kennedy, and he said whatever he was told to say. And Sean Kern says at USS Liberty 420, outside homeless vets shouldn't be. MXHDI 54 says 37% who said yes should hop off YouTube and volunteer. Yeah, a wide variety of opinions this morning, but that's good. Like, that's why I want to host the channel, right? We want to help people discuss politics better, to understand politics better. We are looking for our political intelligence and accuracy to improve as well. I'm not here to lecture you or to make you think what I think. It's all about you ultimately, and trying to create a common consensus to put our country first. Okay, so at Sean Kern says, with China, Nixon opened U.S. foreign policy. 54 said, so they got you finessed. USS Liberty says, I just got my other account deleted last week. This is a new account for talking about the USS Liberty. Very cool, very cool. Sorry that your other account got deleted, or if it was, something, whatever happened to it, if it wasn't your prerogative. Hate to hear that, but glad that this new account was able to find our channel, right? So it's very super cool that we are together. B4S says, I'm on my 5th account. 420 says, within the last decade, I probably had at least over 100 deleted. Oh, bummer. Darn. And 54 says they don't want to talk about the USS Liberty. Wonder why. Yeah, maybe one of these times I should do an whole episode on the USS Liberty. I think that would be a fun topic to explore into, right? I think it's, we're just, so yeah, that's something we can put on the list of topics to research here soon. Deeper research, I should say. Yep, America first, America only. Yeah, this is an America first movement, right? So we are, and that's what, at the end of the day, that's what matters. If our government is involved in actions that don't directly benefit our country, or benefit our country at all, then what's the point, right? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense there. So at Finn8906 says, hi, hello, Finn. Thank you for joining the stream this morning. Wonderful to have you here. Good morning. How are you doing today? So now we're heading through the Georgetown Law School. A gorgeous day out here. I know a couple buddies that went here for their law degrees or post-grad. Okay, here we got a couple of new questions and comments I'll read here. Sean says, Nixon smartly supported the Iranian Shah at the time. Iran was Western society. Bear says, the new data centers are being built to record people talking about Apple, talking about this issue on social media to round up later emphasis on that particular term. Sean says, forever President Trump, forever MAGA, forever J6. Corbett says, when you say America first, what exactly do you mean? So I worked in the U.S. Senate for 2 years. I used to be in the Congress. I've helped political campaigns growing up. In the 8 years that I have done politics professionally, eventually you just kind of see that, like, oh, wow, none of you that are here in the Congress are actually serious about trying to fix the problems that the nation finds itself in currently. So, yeah, we need a government and a political class that wants to actually, hey, we have a lot of homeless veterans. That's unacceptable. We should we should do something about it other than tweeting about it. Or, hey, there's a lot of young people that are not getting married, and then they're not having kids, and then the fertility risk, that collapses as well. So that's another emergency, right? So those kind of issues need to be the priority, and it feels like they're being treated last, right? They're not even being given any priority at all or any attention from most of the government. B4S says, I've been talking about them for years, and they still pass me for a background check. So yeah, those data centers are scary. He was on Tucker. Casey and the Omega car was on Tucker Carlson's podcast. Grow Maloney says, blame capitalist policy and wealth inequality for the following birth rates. Bear says, my son's working at a data center construction site and a 1,000-acre site. Liberty 420, when I say America First, I mean no more dual citizens in the government whatsoever. I think, yeah, that as well. Yeah, we should, dual citizens, voting even as well, is absolutely, should be unacceptable. I think you should only have one, be a citizen of one country, and you vote in this country if you're a citizen here. You can't be a dual citizen and be a voter. So I think that's a very, very great point. Hey everybody, if you're just now joining the channel, would love if you gave the video a like, if you hit that subscribe button as well. We are looking to build a movement here, and I need your support to help do so. Our main goal right now, we're trying to get up to 500, our first 500 subscribers. I believe we should be a little above 450 around right now. So pretty exciting news there. So would love to have you be one of the inaugural first 500 subscribers. Yeah, we're out here walking around taking your questions today. We are talking about politics, the war in Iran. Oil prices are rising, as we see with the president out here in DC as well, just kind of showing you buildings and all of that stuff as well. So yeah, would love to have your support and subscribe. Thank you very much. Okay. Corbett says, I agree. It seems like a lot of sight out of mind mentality. Absolutely. Edward says, retaliate, don't initiate. Corbett says, I second that. I believe to the dual citizen point. Bear says 1,500 people are building it, more than that actually, but 15 people 100 on the job site every day. Wow, that is insane. Yeah, man, it is. Do you guys listen to see, yeah, there's problems like this all the time. And then Call Old says it's crazy that the skinheads were right all along. ZOG is real. And then B4S says, LOL, well, the skinheads weren't totally right. The Dubliner. So, yeah, St. Patty's Day is coming up. And so, Olo programming note for next Monday, we won't go live next Tuesday night. We'll do a Monday night show instead. And I'm bringing on my friend from Ireland, and we're going to do a geopolitical episode on the history of Ireland. So that'll be a fun. It'll get us away from the Middle East for a moment. It'll be a different sector of the world, different country, different culture that we can talk about. So, yeah, excited for that one next Monday night. You'll want to check that one out as well. Okay, got a couple of new comments here. Sherry Milk says Iran should adopt the U.S. Constitution and the people freedom of speech. Texas Jane says, good morning. Where are you? We are in Washington, D.C. here this morning. We're just a few blocks away from the U.S. Capitol building. We were in Chinatown earlier showing you guys that part of the city. But now we are heading back towards Cap Hill right now. So, yeah, how are you doing, Texas Jane? Super glad to see you again. Thank you for joining another stream. Welcome back. Yeah, welcome everybody. If it's your first time on the channel, thank you very much for being here. Would love if you subscribed, give the video a like. If you know friends that are aligned with us, please send this their way, and we can continue growing the Awoken brick by brick and day by day. Each and every day, we're trying to get to 500 subscribers. Right now, that's our next goal. Okay, let's do a couple of comments here. Marky says, so this is what happens when you corner a rat. It turns around and sets the whole house on fire. Pathetic excuse for a president. Can't believe that's who I voted for. B4S says, I know, right? At least you can call him out on his BS, unlike others. Share Remelk. So Alden shows to watch. It's 24 hours. And Baby Lawn 5. Sounds pretty exciting. Okay, here's Union Station, guys. The where the metro cars in DC will meet here. The Amtrak trains as well. They gather here. I believe the Virginia Railroad Express is a proxy out of here as well. There's lots of people, once they remove themselves from the train, they will hop into taxis. There's often protests going on at these monuments and whatnot in front of the Union Station. So pretty historic little place in our country and city as well, right? There's usually a chunk of homeless people hanging out, per usual, right? And let's see if there's anything going on today. David Moore says, good morning. Good morning, David. Welcome back, brother. Wonderful to see you once again. Glad to have you back on the stream again. Hope you're having a great day, David. And but yeah, we're out here in DC hanging out. The weather is starting to break a little bit of a sweat a little bit. But we're out here right in front of Union Station here in Washington, DC. The Capitol building is right here. You can kind of see it. That tree's in the way a little bit. But yeah, some exciting stuff there. So I got some good comments. If you're just now joining the stream, thank you very much. If you're a returner, welcome back. Thank you. We are building something quite special here, trying to bring together everybody. So yeah, we're going to head into Union Station. Hopefully the connection doesn't lapse. Good morning. I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm just walking around. Yep. Thank you very much. Yep. You as well. Thank you. All right. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, everybody. We are in Union Station. Haven't been with you guys in here before. So yeah, we're going to be walking around in here for a couple minutes. Probably get a coffee or something. Get a crummy coffee at the McDonald's. Get some slop in me. But we'll walk around all of these centers. Hopefully, there's just not a reconnect is what we are hoping for, at least. Yeah, like you got Chick-fil-A down here. You have all of these, like it's a food, almost like a mall in the food court, or a food court within the mall. You have McDonald's, CVS, Taco John's, Taco Bell, any of those kind of restaurants. Got a question from @Andre Chang at 771 says, is at Union Station? Yes, we are. Yeah, we're here today. We were at Chinatown earlier today. Now we're at Union Station, going to probably grab a coffee and then just kind of hang out for a little bit. Probably keep walking outside. A gorgeous day here in DC. Really, truly beautiful. Feels like spring. Yeah, hopefully everyone is having a good day today. We're out here having conversations about the whole deal. We're talking about Iran, we're talking about oil, we're talking about Trump, we're talking about some other other topics as well. So thank you very much for tuning into the stream today. Glad to have you here. And we will, we have a stream tonight as well. So hopefully you come back for that. Let's see. But yeah, hopefully we're still going. So I think we still are. So yeah, good morning, everybody. So yeah, there's a speaking of the pedophile thing, there's you can find it. Hi. Can I get a large black coffee, please? Yep. That should be it.
Hi.
Yep. Thank you very much. Cool. All right, boys. Coffee coming my way here in a couple minutes. Okay, let's see some other comments here. Um, it's sick who they are protecting. We, the people, must take back our country. It's good for your immunities. So yeah, if you there's this CBS and or CBS YouTube video, and it's actually titled something like it says something like, oh, I don't want to butcher it too bad, but the video it's like titled um, these how are these pedophiles fleeing back to Israel, or these Jewish pedophiles going back to Israel, and it's like this was before Barry Weiss. This video has been on the air, I believe, for 5 years or something like that. So, um, yeah, and it describes this group that is intentionally trying to help these pedophiles get back to Israel that are within Israel already. So, um, yeah, that's on CBS though. So you could check that out at some time. But yeah, we the people, we need to retake our reclaim our country. David Moore says, uh, I like, I love black coffee too. 354. Yep. Thank you. All right, cool. All right. We are back in business, baby.
Attention, please. This is a warning call from North Pennsylvania train number 520 and route to Perry. Attention, please stop at this
Something that we could oh, there was this guy in Netanyahu's cabinet who got busted in an FBI sting, I believe back in August or September of last year, and he just got to leave the country. Did you guys remember hearing about this? I believe his name was Alexander or something. Which is kind of, yeah, it's a whole, how he was serving in the cabinet and was just able to escape and go back to Israel, even though he was charged with, yeah, by the FBI of a child molestation attempt. So that's something that would be, that's a good idea to check out as well. I don't want to go under a whole bunch of building or roofs because I'm afraid it will reconnect. But let's just find a table and we can chill somewhere for a couple of minutes here in Union Station. Have our coffee. So yeah, I think Jane is making a point about how there are Israeli pedophiles, obviously, but there are pedophiles all across the world, sadly. Lots of sick people out there. So I think we know what Jane is communicating. All right, cool. Yeah, we're going to chill here. All right. Yeah, I can read y'all's comments again. Yeah, I just had to go get my backpack off for a minute. We have been walking for a long time. Alrighty. All right, let's see. Glenn Sharp says, no nukes for Iran, no brainer. Liberty says, hey, how about that no nuclear weapons at all? How about that option? B4S says, bro, they said Iran was 2 weeks away since 1984. You can deny his involvement all you want, but he's totally in there, and he's definitely started this war to cover it up. The first tax ever created was the 1913 tax meant to tax the wealth. The Congress was arguing that they would use it on the middle class. Liberty says, what did our grandparents used to do with them? The Ogre 42 must be starting. Here we are, 2025 founding fathers turning in their grave. But yeah, about the Glenn Sharp's one about no nukes for Iran. I don't think anyone is cheerleading for Iran to get nukes. It's just at this point we're not sure how honest that claim is anymore. After seeing like Iraq, right, and Libya and other situations that have sorry, I was looking at Rise's comment that the nuclear weapons thing, it's just, yeah, people I don't think they're buying it as much all the time now. So Dice says there's someone behind you. Yeah, probably. Luckily, I'm in Union Station in Washington, D.C. right now, so I am in a relatively safer public area. Hey everybody, we are here in Union Station having a coffee, chit-chatting with you guys this morning. We were walking around DC, walking around at Chinatown. Just needed to take a little bit of a break, get some coffee in us. But yeah, we've been taking your questions all day, meeting some new good people as well today. Pretty strong feed between the two, very strong. So happy that you guys are here with us today. Yeah, we'll just be in this. We will be just hanging out in here just for a couple more minutes, let the coffee cool off, and then we'll head right back to, right back to the Capitol or something of that nature. But once again, thank you guys for joining the stream today. Wonderful turnout. Thrilled. We're making our push towards 500 subscribers. We're doing that all the time. So, thank you very much for your support today. If you subscribed this morning or sometime during the stream, if you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you very much. And glad that you guys are here today. Yeah, if you guys know friends that are, might be interested in this kind of content in DC or in politics in general, please send them towards our way. They can join our community, join the Awoken. Thrilled to be with you guys. It looks like Texas Jane is taking on Markey and B4S. they're having a little discussion about the Epstein files and the role of the president of the United States in those files and conversation. So interesting to let this play out, which is a reason why I designed the channel, is that we're all right. We're right wingers, right? We are conservative, but this is a safe ground to where we can have these discussions and debates and still understand that we should be on the same team. So let's see. All right, let's see if this. Yeah, let's see if this stays on. It might have kicked everyone off, but it sent me the reconnecting thing again. All right, so if anyone can still see or hear me, let me know. But if not, I can restart the stream and we can start a new one or something. But stinks that I did this, again. But this time I just closed the YouTube app and shut it down on and off. Okay, it says back. Good. Okay, good. This time we won't have to start the stream over. So next time if it happens again, what I'll do is I'll close the YouTube app, then hit that live button and hit resume again. So at least we have an antidote now for this problem. All right, boys, we're still back. Let's go. Yes. Trying to get this coffee to cool down a little bit. It's getting a little better, but you can still see some of the fumes. Still a little annoying. Yeah, already at 111 votes, so a pretty strong turnout for the poll again today. U.S. Liberty says, do you wear a backpack? I usually do when I stream. What I have realized is that if I'm going to keep the full suit and once the weather starts getting better, having the backpack, it's just going to sweat me to death. But I bring it because while I'm streaming sometimes, I will I'll keep my laptop with me. And sometimes when we're streaming and if we're having like a long break or something inside, I will edit and I'll like put out videos on the channel, like shorts. I'll edit my desktop streams and we'll get those out as well. So there is a lot of other editing as well that we have to handle and deal with too. So, but I usually do wear a backpack. So Micro Center has some awesome setups for some laptop backpacks. HAK5 is a website to go on to. Okay. Here, I'll screenshot that real quick, and we will. I'll check that out once we hop off later. David Moore says, I can hear you. All right, wonderful. All right, glad that we are, audibles are so good. And up and working with you guys today. So you guys, we're heading right there. Winter seems to be on the downside. It's running out of time. It's oh wow, huh? I'm not too familiar what you mean about that, Mr. 420, about the cybersecurity and whatnot. B4S says, I've been using my USMC backpack since 06. It's already lapped the planet 4 times. Oh, very nice. Wonderful. Yeah, one of my have a buddy that has a similar situation when it comes to that regard. I have different backpacks for different loadouts, and not a single tear in B4S's backpack. Awesome, awesome. Marky says, "Do you do this YouTube/streaming full time?" I want it to become that. I'm still working private sector in DC though, so my shifts are kind of like I might start at like 1:30 and go later, but usually on Tuesdays and Wednesdays I like structured anchor shows at night, so I won't work as long today, but I still work. I work on Saturdays as well if there's not a protest going on. So I'm doing both right now. Do you lobby for APAC? Not at all. I have seen it when I did work in the Senate, though. There were you could people would know that APAC's around, right? Some like my coworkers said, some of the meetings that they'd have with APAC are some of the more aggressive meetings, like suggesting to instead of sending like a memo or a bill sponsor up to your boss, just trying to encourage the staffer to sign on to it right away and like work around the member of Congress, like not even tell them. So some pretty crazy stuff like that. But yeah, I'm trying to get up to 500 YouTube subscribers. That's my next goal. And I'll be able to, that's the next step towards super chats. And then I'm getting, so tonight on the show, I'll have like this other service set up. It's crazy that there is a law so you can't find out who they fund. Right, yeah. He said they haven't signed the FARA. They're not registered under FARA, so it's really tough to tell what they're saying. Cole Old said he's the next Sean Ryan, the CIA podcaster. Oh man, he's always getting after me about being in the CIA, bro. And Marky says, "Oh, interesting, interesting indeed." Hey everybody, good morning. If you're just now joining the stream, we're out here and chit-chatting about Washington, D.C. I'm waiting for my coffee to cool off a little bit. Then we'll right back outside, head back to the Capitol building, take your questions there. So, thrilled. Yeah, thank you for joining the stream this morning. Got some new subscribers as well this morning. Have had a very solid conversation all morning as well with you guys. We're here in Union Station right now. People in and out here all day, grabbing lunch, grabbing coffees, heading to the train. The metro is here as well. So lots of different important institutions operate within Union Station here in DC. Ha. Flanker music. Great AI song. Yeah, up to 119 votes for 120 for the support war in Iran. No is 66% and yes is 34%. About where we've been all week. Kind of, yeah. And it seems like there's not a whole ton of public pressure, though, however, for like maybe protests or demonstrations against the war. It's really just kind of happening. And it's so surreal that we're actually in a regime change war with Iran. It's hard. Like, we all saw this was coming, right? It's been, it was imminent. It's been imminent for a couple months now, but Markey says, how do you think this war will end? I don't see either side backing down. Too much arrogance. I think that's the golden question right now is the only way I see it ending for the United States is if we topple their government. Because if we do anything less than that, we fail to meet our strategic objectives from what the President of the United States laid out for going to war with Iran. So anything less than the regime change, I feel like is going to be hard for Trump to accept. And even though, their supreme leader's dead, right? There's a new one. They've lost a lot of other leadership and missile launch platforms and whatnot. They still have a lot of drones. They still have a lot of missiles. The proxies haven't even been involved at all, hardly. So they still have a remnants, I should say, of a proxy network that they could turn on if they felt like they needed to. The Strait of Hormuz is still shut down and closed. So, it's only, both sides are only starting to dig in, I'd say, with no clear exit ramp laid out right now. So that's kind of, I think, what we're looking at with the president. I think he was hoping that it would just end after a day after killing the supreme leader and other officials, other Revolutionary Guard personnel, but it wasn't the case. So, wait one sec. There's always crazy people walking around Union Station. Cole Ald said, protesting makes a difference with a laughing face emoji, and then adds, I'm worried Israel will use the Samson option if their crap keeps getting pushed in. Right, and at least what we've seen so far is that Iran, they've gotten a couple of hits within Tel Aviv and other infrastructure within Israel. So they've been hit a couple of times. Yep. And Iran, at the same point, they still have missiles. They still have other missile platforms. They have drones. They have other capabilities to stay alive. Iran winning the war is them staying alive and preventing regime change. And that's all they have to do. So, which is going to take some kind of ground force, right? So, and that's a whole nother place. Liberty 420 says, that's crazy, man. I would never go into a place like that without a gun. That's why I can't go Washington, D.C., because they won't allow me to have a firearm. Good point. Yeah, there's very strict gun legislation here. Laws that don't seem to be followed by mischievous people, but they're only followed like good people like us. So, yeah, I'll try get crazy. Once I see them, I'll try to get crazy people when they're walking around. And there was like a guy when I was walking here a little bit ago was like, hey, can you give me some money or whatever? So, yeah, a little while. Hey, everybody, for just now on the stream, would love if you hit that subscribe button, leave the video a like. We are building something magnificent here, talking about the conflict in Iran, answering your questions about Washington, D.C. Started this channel a couple months ago, hoping to build a collective consciousness of America First patriots. Markey says, definitely some interesting people around, and B4S says, everyone I talked to in D.C. was from a different country. Yeah, lots of travelers here, lots of people on vacation or just people that have immigrated here over the last several decades. It's very, and also even like the Americans that live here. Like I wasn't born in D.C. I was born and raised in Indiana. So even people like me that are from America, we're not even from the city. So it's a city, yeah, consistently full of travelers, people here for work, people here for other reasons. Um, the people that have lived here for cycles or generations, they live in places like Anacostia. That's a historic part of the city. We'll maybe do a stream there some point this summer. Um, it's a little sketch. I've been there before, um, but gotta be a little careful over there. But there are some areas where DC residents live. So Liberty says same here. That's why I stayed, because I think he's the only white guy in Washington right now. LOL. A lot of other people with laughing face emojis following. Yeah, man, it's other than like Hill staffers or people that work in the government, it's really not that way at all, honestly. Yeah. There's liberal Georgetown college students, liberal George Washington University students. Um, there's lots of leftists here for school, but other than people here for school and work, there's really not. Yeah, that's a good point. So, man, this coffee is getting close. Man, I just hate how hot sometimes it. Yeah, I'm just going to try it. It's been a while. Okay. Yeah, I think it's ready. But Liberty says, what do you think about Texas turning into India? Right. Yeah, I've heard what it's battle for what the suburbs and Frisco, right? And um, yeah, trying to get their community set up out there. And what isn't it? Isn't there like a bunch of Muslims in Dallas as well, trying to get their super mosque or their grand super mosque as well? Like, there's multiple groups that are um, trying to make major inroads in the Lone Star State. So, yeah, from Texas, who do you think, Ken Paxton or John Cornyn? Which one of those guys do you think is going to win the GOP runoff? Or if you think either of them are even worthy of voting for, in your opinion? That's true. Dan Crenshaw, yeah, his political career was ended. What wasn't it? Um, I can't remember the other fellow's name. Uh, Jeff Fresk or something. But yeah, Crenshaw is out now. 4329 says, hello again. You look like a different person without glasses. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we are inside. Probably first time we've been on the stream since been inside, is that we are in Union Station this morning, taking your questions. Now, once I'm done with this coffee or nail down a good part of this coffee, we will um, head back to the Capitol and take your questions out there. Okay, we got a couple questions here. What's your prediction about the election? Or Liberty says it's bowl. So, um, the election, the Paxton Cornyn election. Yeah. Tracking. B4S says there won't be an election. 4399 says, what do you think about the situation in the Middle East? Yeah, man, it seemed like it's growing already is a regional conflict war. And I don't see how it de-escalates any time. There. So, yeah, it's only going to keep enlarging, I'm afraid. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get out of it anytime soon. So hopefully that kind of answers your question a little bit there. 4329 says, your lives also feel like an adventure. Totally, man. Yeah, we're always going around DC, showing people what things are about, answering your questions about politics. I love talking politics with new people, right? And online communities like this is where it can flourish, and you guys can like help me as well. Like, you guys make interesting points as well, so I can learn totally. 2WMCIA says, I put yes because I thought the question was, do you support Iran and the war? Oh, nice. Tracking. I got you. Thanks for the clarification. What's your would you like to elaborate on maybe some other positions you hold? Liberty says, you're from Indiana. Do you know anything about tractors? Not particularly. I know that they're needed for collecting agriculture crops on farms. Like there's a lot of farms. But I wasn't in a farming family though, or grew up on a farm. So, yeah. There was a school not too far from mine. It's that they would have a drive your tractor to work a day, actually, and all of the students would drive their tractors to the high school for work, or drive for school or whatever. Hey everybody, thank you for the likes on the video. Appreciate you guys asking me questions today. And yeah, if you're new, would love if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you can join the next stream. Got a question from Chris King 8768. Trump has no idea. Pissed off the allies that supported the U.S. through Iraq and Afghanistan. But I don't see what's happening this time. David Moore says, didn't a president named Joe Biden pull out of the Middle East, and now we're dealing with the mess we're dealing with now? Beige Bones says being taken out. I believe he's responding to the poll question. During the process, you left terrorist organizations with military weapons. 2WMCIA says, yes, I hold Democratic positions. I think that the electoral vote thing is BS, and I don't know why a constitutional republic is lecturing democracy around the world when they aren't. Trump signed the deal also to pull out of Afghanistan. Liberty says, what do you do when your representative doesn't represent you? Right. Yeah, that's always a reality. David Moore says, little by little, not everything all at once. 2WMCIA says, also bipartisan doesn't seem democracy to me. Then Beige Bone says, clarifies his comment, says, are being taken are. Maybe one of your comments got the filter, got blocked through the filter. And Cole Old says, boom, boom, Tel Aviv, this is what you get for all your evil deeds. Markey says, I don't disagree. Biden did a lot of shit that is still affecting us, but Trump seems to be making the worst decisions possible at every turn. B4S says, um, straightocracy greater than democracy. Yeah, I got a lot of diverse opinions here in the chat right now. Have a couple, have some left-leaning views, some right-leaning views, and some center views, center right maybe. So happy that chat's going well. Happy, would love if you guys subscribe to the channel though if you're new. It's the best way you can do to support us. We are approaching 500 subscribers rapidly. Would love to have you within the first 500. Then once we achieve that, we'll do something a little special. Telecaster. And David Moore says, can't disagree with you there, Marky Alo. Yeah, sometimes it kind of feels that way sometimes, especially when there were so many, like just the current moment we're in. Just think of what's happened in 2026 alone. Minneapolis, that operation ended. Tom Homan was sent in with the white flag. Mass deportations are effectively over. We see this through this recent tranche of Epstein files released that everything about everything is just corrupt or broken, or just everybody is a sellout. And then a couple weeks after that, we have war with Iran. Like, how can you have, they say bad deeds come in three. How can you have three worse things happen within an 8-9 week period? Seriously. And we have to accept that this is normal. How can we accept that as Americans? How can we wake up every day, go to work, and pay taxes for this? This is not acceptable. Right, yeah. And like, even when we think we got the lesser of two evils elected, it's almost like it didn't matter, because it's still declining, right? It's still getting worse. So, yeah, man. And that's why I started the channel, is that maybe there's a way to help to organize something online. And being in DC, while I have this location, at least I can go to events, and I'm still very tight with a lot of people in the agencies and that work in Congress and nonprofit groups and outside organizations within right-wing movements here. So I can still try and network and meet people and stuff like that while I'm in DC. So that's one of the main goals as well. So yeah, man, it's just a little, yeah, like right now, dude, we're in war with Iran. Like, and we can't get 500,000 deportations even, or we can't get voter ID even. Like the SAVE Act, that's going to be almost impossible to get through, right? It's almost like if voting, like when you get all excited to get pumped up a vote, right? Oh, I'm going to go vote and I agree with this candidate because, and you have this long laundry list of their policy positions, their ideas, what they believe in, what they said they wouldn't do, etc. And then it's almost like Santa Claus. And then you write your list, you cast your ballot, and then you get nothing. You get a big clump of coal in your stocking and a bunch of poop wrapped up. And it's just unacceptable. Yeah. However, though, we know what the problem is, right? And the complaining about it only does so much, and we have to take action as individuals. And that's why I started the channel, is that especially while we're still kind of low key at the size we are, I don't know, maybe we can make some kind of like group chat or something offline here to where we can communicate quickly or something like that. So we'll think about that here soon. Don't need to do that today necessarily, but yeah, we will need to take action though, right? Yeah, we can't, if we just sit around and cry all day, then nothing will get better. So it does come up to human action, right? How many friends does Trump have from high school? Honestly, I don't know if he's ever really talked about his high school experience before. So I don't know if he has any pals from high school left. 4329 with a suggestion or opinion, I should say. My opinion is I could change one thing in America. I would fix the two-party system. I've been and Liberty says I've been contacting my representatives and I never do that shit. B4S says I would change the entire government to the Starship Trooper government. Clips to Go says get rid of the PACs and lobbies. That would definitely be one way to start it. And Chris King, 8768, agrees with the two statements above. So yeah, we definitely need to find ways to implement change and fix some of this stuff as well. We can't just be a community that cries and complains, right? We need to take action. We need to get into, we need to network with people, right? I can help you do that. I'm in DC right now. I network for a living pretty much. I can help you how to do that. If you want to get involved wherever, I can also give you tips when it comes to that as well. The fact that B4S says the fact lobbying is legal is crazy. 4329 says in a multi-party system, lobbies have less powers as lobbying becomes less worthwhile. Okay, so yeah, maybe like more of a parliament kind of, like you have several different political parties that almost like in Japan a little bit, right? To where you have so many different parties, it's tough for supermajorities and stuff like that. Let's see. Ken, welcome, Ken. Good morning, Ken. Thanks for joining the stream, brother. Happy to have you here. He says, funny, I live in Nowhere, Michigan, and always have to show my ID. My township has 230 voters, and most of us know each other by first name, and I still have to show my ID. David Moore says that's because ICE and Iran and Israel and everything else is more important. B4S says, yeah, but a multi-party system just from coalitions and becomes a uniparty anyways. 4329 says, and the government will reflect the people better, so U.S. would not go to war if people don't want war. Markey says lobbying is legal bribery. It should have a limit that is achievable by all parties, not just who can pay more gets their way. Then USS Liberty says you have to have ID. Right, yeah, and we're trying to get voter ID nationwide, and that's looking like that's going to be tough if we're even going to get the SAVE Act through. B4S says not in New York to vote. Yeah, some of the states do not have voter ID. I believe close to 35 to 40 of the states do, but not all of them. And we're almost done with this coffee, guys. We'll be able to head back out to the Capitol here in a couple minutes. Yeah, we've had a wonderful conversation today discussing these current events in our country. But yeah, now that we're starting to establish a community, right? We have every time I do these streams, they're increasingly becoming larger with more familiar faces returning. We need to start thinking about the next step, right? What can we do to help, right? Now we have a base of people who we all understand the problem, right? We understand the roots, understand other stuff. But now we need to take action, and we can. And if I didn't think we could win, then I wouldn't be in politics anymore, or I wouldn't have started the channel, anything like that. So let's go to US 4329 says, yes, in multi-party system, we see coalitions, and it's not perfectly democratic, but now the two coalitions are forced to listen to people more. Like, look at the democracy index of America compared to Europe. What is your opinion about my suggestion? I think it, a lot of people have brought up that a similar point to what you're making, I believe, about like maybe, hey, if the two-party system, it's just simply not working, we need to implement something else, right? I think up to a point it might work. I think a lot of it, though, is some of it is like the voters as well. The problem is just the masses right now they're asleep. It's almost like dangling, I don't know, it's almost like everyone is looking at a crime scene, and then somebody points and says, look, something's flying in the sky, or look at this happening over there, and everyone forgets about the crime scene instantly. So try to get the masses on board, I think, is maybe a way we can do it, or enough people, right? So I think there is okay, but what do you really think, but do you really think we can make a difference? I mean, how do we make them listen when the entire system is designed to keep them in power just as they planned? So I've really thought about this in particular, and it has to start with the members of the Congress, right? It's all about, we need more people like Thomas Massie that are in the Congress. And now what we do is, by having the everyday voter question actually think about their representative, right? And not in a traditional campaign sense that, like traditional campaign ads, and whatnot. I think there is a way we can, So something that, in particular, like in Texas, with John Cornyn. John Cornyn, he's been a senator from Texas since I believe 2000 or 2002, a very long time, right? Over at around 2.5 decades long. And right, and it's really trying to make people think, all right, why? So if this guy's been around forever, right? What has he actually ever done for you? Like, what has changed? Like, why does he deserve another 6-year term? And then what we can do is look at who funds them and really try and make people see like who these people actually are, right? It's not just your representative that you see the campaign commercial for every these years. Like, actually do comprehensive research into these people and show that they're owned by these groups, right? Basically, like how, like in the NBA, right, on the jerseys, there's now all these advertisements, right? Basically, just we need to get that image, like a NASCAR, right? We need the average American to look at these people as they're just one big walking advertisement that's owned by these groups, and that they're not actually working for you. They have nothing to care about you. And then from there, like, I'm not sure how much you guys paid, but do you guys know about James Fishback in Florida? He's going to be somebody very interesting to pay attention to. He's pretty, he's definitely like a, I'd say he's probably closest with us and Massey right now. So I would pay a little attention to what James Fishback is saying. We can get a couple people like James Fishback in, then you can start, right? It's going to take a long time. Marky says, I guess discontent with the system is spreading. So maybe with enough support, we can actually change the way it works. That's what I'm aiming for as well. All right, David, much love, brother. Wonderful to see you again this morning. Thanks for hopping on. But yeah, I think we can. It's going to take a lot of work. We're going to have to be careful and precise and accurate. The truth is our greatest weapon. I've said this a lot of times. We need to run an honest vision, right, for what we believe America is, and what we would like to see it as. And right now, what we're trying to do is very little, not much different than what Trump did in 2016. We're going to be called, we're haters. We're going to be called Nazis. We're going to be called this. We're going to be called that. That's just going to be the reality of it. We're just going to have to be tough. But we know we're right, and we need to fight for what we believe in. So I think making sure all of your friends are registered to vote is key. Doesn't mean they have to cast a ballot, right? But making sure that everyone is registered, because if you're not registered and that registration deadline closes, then you're not even a factor at all in the election. So you definitely want to make sure your family are all registered. And then, because when the election is around, that's when they need you, right? They need you to vote for them. They need for you to do this. They need you to do that. So we shouldn't be a slave and just vote for them automatically. They need to earn. They need to earn our support, I'd say, instead of just a gift, right? It's not monopoly money. It's not, all right, every 2 years we pass go and vote for you. It's going to be, no, you're going to actually, instead of $200 we get at every these 2 years, you're going to give us this and you're going to give us that, and maybe we'll vote for you, right? We need to increase our demands and what we're asking for. because we know the country's dying, right? So at Razdik says you don't need not to call you Nazis. You are Nazis. Trump 2026. Yeah, and nobody's about. Yeah, this is a peaceful. It's a nonviolent movement. We're not advocating for killing anybody. We're just, honestly, all this is we're just trying to hold Trump to the truth and what he promised on. My views really have not changed. Like, they've changed in some ways, right? But like, I didn't just flip overnight and hold these. Like, this is the playbook that Trump ran on and promised. So that's one of the problems, is that we're just trying to get consistency from the president and get what we actually voted for. Tucker Carlson is this way. Megyn Kelly is, she's sounding a lot more like us recently. A lot of people are. So we're on the right side of this, guys. Ken says, that's the Trump I voted for, the 2016 Trump. I didn't vote for war, right? Bryant, 1456, says, when France and UK lost their empires, they still exist, and their economies are relatively fine, but they're obviously not in the top 5 anymore. Jim Smith says, Israel isn't an organic Middle Eastern state. It's a modern political project inserted into the region, an outlier surrounded by societies it wasn't historically part of. Right, yeah, I think 1948, so it hasn't even been a country for 100 years. There's probably, there's people that are still voting that are older than the modern state of Israel, right? So, yeah, like my grandparents are older than the modern state of Israel, right? It hasn't been around that long. Hey everybody, good morning. Thank you for joining the stream. Just finished up my coffee. We're going to have we'll head back to the Capitol, take your questions outside of the US Capitol. And so get to know you there. And Marky, yeah, same thing, Marky. Like especially this, right? Yeah, it still can't be understated enough, is that we are in a regime change war in Iran right now. That's the reality of the situation. And it's just, it's hard to believe, truly. Here we are again, 20 years later, doing the same thing. So, alrighty. All right, let's throw this away, head back to the Capitol building. How old are you, Alden? I'm 26 years old. Uh-oh. All right, we still got some, so should have some juice left. Early 20s, I think. Yep. Early 20s. So I guess I'd say I'm now in my, my mid 20s now. Didn't think I'd be here at this point in life, but honestly wouldn't want it any other way. Starting this channel has been a lot of fun, getting to know you guys recently. as well as like actually one of the things at school is that like we're building something of meaning here. Like this isn't just some throwaway random goofy like dumb far right extremist account. Like this is actually, yeah, we're definitely more right wing than maybe the average guy, right? Or we're maybe more politically consistent with our demands, I should say, rather, from the administration and just Republicans in general. But this is actually educational, right? That's why we do the research into these countries, the geopolitics of it. And it is serious at the end of the day, too. So always want to keep that in mind as this continues to grow, right? So I'm happy you guys are here so early on in the channel's life cycle. Let's see some other questions. Right, yeah, they've been, because right, if you just go to any YouTube, you could Google or in the search bar put Benjamin Netanyahu with Iran a nuclear bomb over the years. And he's been saying they've been, by this next weekend, they'll have a nuclear bomb for the past 3 decades, pretty much, right? If not longer. So he has wanted this war for a long time, and he got it now. And it's probably not going to end until there is regime change in Tehran. Now, when will it happen? I'm not sure, but and then there won't be any. They will have achieved regional dominance in the Middle East once Iran falls. Yeah, I'm 38, and 20 years ago, my DS said we're all going to Iran. Iran is 2 weeks away from creating the nuclear bomb now, says Razik. They've been 2 weeks away since 1984. 9/11 was one of the most traumatic experiences in my life. Were you in New York that day? B4S says 4 decades, and then it says Turkey is next. Yeah, I've heard that Turkey is where they might want to go next with regime change. Just right now with Turkey being in NATO, I'm not sure what that might look like. That's going to be super interesting, right? You see, I just kind of look at it. Last couple years, Assad, regime change in Syria, Operation Grim Beeper, the attacks against Hezbollah, and then the decapitation strikes against the leadership of Hezbollah over the Gaza war, basically degrading Hamas, and then the bombing campaign from the U.S. against the Houthis in the spring of 2025 really kind of neutralized the proxy network up to a point. And now Iran is the jackpot. USS Liberty says, no, I went to New York and saw the buildings for the first time. And then a couple days after it collapsed. Ooh, bummer. Yeah, man, that had to be, yeah, I was like 2 years old, I think, on 9/11. I was baby, infant, toddler still. Ken says I'm at 456 subscribers now. That's wonderful. Awesome. That's a great day, because we started at, I think, like around 440 this morning. So, yeah, that's a great day of streaming. Awesome, guys. Thank you for subscribing. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, would love if you hit that subscribe button and left the video a like. That's a wonderful way to support me. Share this channel with your friends who you believe may be interested in this type of content as well. So thank you guys for your support very much. Marky says, what would, yeah, so I think they want it to maybe look like another Syria, maybe. Like they just want the main goal, what the objective from the US and the Israelis is to where the current regime loses power and is degraded at a rate that they can't rebuild, so that either something else pops up, or maybe they try installing the Shah. But one of the biggest problems with that is it's a huge country. It's a country of 92 million people. There's going to be a lot of opposition to or resistance against it no matter what. So, yeah, we're here right by the Senate buildings. Now the Russell and Dirksen Senate building here in DC. Heading back to the Capitol. So yeah, and like it's another thing is like I'm not even sure if regime change is possible, honestly. Like it's just a different culture of people, right? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, so yeah, Iran, it is the Zagros and the Alborz mountains are on the north and west border of Iran. It's a huge mountainous terrain which really prevents like a standard ground invasion, right? The geography, it's just too difficult to enter on foot. And then the only way else you get troops, and there's, if you like drop them in, you know, they jump off the little parachute, or you send them into the, you know, drop them off in the country themselves. But then you have the problem, you run into that same problem, is that they can't really get out. You know, they're more or less stuck. And like again, it goes back to the question, what does regime change look like in Iran? And it's going to be super difficult, I think. I just don't know if, and remember, they've so far held on without really any help from Russia or China, or even their own proxies. The proxy network has been pretty well silent this entire conflict, and Russia and China haven't helped other than money or intelligence maybe, but nothing, no like soldiers on the ground or anything. So, right, and I think Iran they had, so last like summer, so from like right after the nuclear facilities were targeted in June, from like June and July until like the winter, they were going through this drought in Iran, and they had to do blackouts to preserve power because the electrical grids have been such sabotaged and they were being overused. So it was causing stressors on the everyday Iranian. And like water supply was down. I'm sure you saw the comments of the president of Iran, Pezeshkian, saying that they may have to move the capital of the, kind of move the people out of the capital because there's just not enough natural resources to sustain the population anymore. So, so they were already weakened severely, right? Like the economy is a dump over there. The dollar is worthless, right? And still, even with all of this maximum pressure, without assistance from proxies, without anything more than cash or intel from Russia and China and their other allies, they're still around. So just kind of keep that in mind, right? It's going to probably only going to escalate from here, I'm afraid. Okay, yeah, I got a couple comments talking about 9/11 up in here. Frank 6860 says, hi, hello, Frank. Welcome back to the stream, brother. Thank you for joining once again. Happy to have you here on this Tuesday morning. What if we made America great again and stayed in the Americans and Pacific where we belong? Yeah, I think there's a very common sentiment above cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, there is a common sentiment for that. And I wouldn't necessarily be opposed, like that Maduro operation, I wasn't necessarily opposed to it because it's in our sphere of influence, right? If it can help us, and with how easy that really was, honestly, it really didn't cost us that much, right? So in terms of that operation, it helps us. It was quick and easy in and out. But this conflict, it's on the other side of the world. It's a country that they won't, as long, and the thing we have against them is the nuclear capabilities, right? We don't want them getting the bomb because we're opposed to nuclear proliferation. Fine, okay. Well, the facilities, we were told those were obliterated last June. So going after them again, it just doesn't make any sense to do that a second time, right? So that's kind of the deal we're in right now, I'd say. But good question there. Hey everybody, we are back here at the U.S. Capitol building once again. Back with you here, taking your questions, hanging out with you in the U.S. Capitol. Beautiful day. It's starting to actually feel like summer now, with how hot it, maybe it's just the suit and all of that jazz, but yeah, happy to be with you today. Okay, got a couple new comments. So maybe the thing about why, so kind of like, even in a country like Iran, I guess you can't, maybe in their minds, they just can't hide forever, right? Same with the supreme leader. Like, you still, even if you're under threat, you still have to conduct daily business. You still have to go to school, right? You still need to go work, right? Like, and maybe some of that is just in America, we're just so not used to having stuff like this. Maybe it's harder for us to comprehend that. Because like the morning of the attacks, I did a stream out here in front of the Capitol, and it's just like it is right now. There's people on the phone, drinking McDonald's, drinking coffee, right? They're just hanging out, taking pictures. And in their capital in Tehran was like leveled, right? Every bombs everywhere, people being killed. So it's just a whole different lifestyle that we have over here. But hey, everybody, if you're just now joining the stream, we're here in front of the Capitol building taking your questions today. Would love if you subscribe to the channel, leave the video a like, check out some of my other videos as well. We go live usually each Tuesday and Wednesday evening. Tonight, we'll do a little coverage about the Mississippi election and other primary elections occurring today. But yeah, having a great comment section today. It looks like a lot of new faces I've seen today, a lot of returners as well. So we're starting to get a core of a community, right? We're starting to get something to where, yeah, we're at the beginning of something. But now that we have a little bit of a base, I think we have a genuinely bought in population within the movement. Is that we can start thinking about and trying how we can take action and how to make sure our ideals are implemented, right? So that's something we'll need to start thinking about a little bit more long term as this only continues to grow, right? So yeah, the goal is 500 subs, and at least Ken said we're at 456 a couple minutes ago. So that means we would have gained like 15 new subscribers today just alone on this stream. So we are improving, right? We are ascending. Oh, the Pam Bondi quote, yeah, the Dow. Why are we talking about the Epstein pedophile files? And why are we not talking about the Dow? It's at 50,000 for the first time ever, guys. We should take a look at the Dow and the Dow Jones. Yeah, like, yeah, you know, I mean, I think she's probably going to be the next. There's probably going to be a regime change at the FBI, following in the footsteps of Kristi Noem here. I think it's got to be happening at some point. It's hard to see how she is in there much longer. Oh, David Thompson, 3415 is back. Hello, David. Welcome back. Good afternoon to you, sir. Seems that money is why people tell so many lies about good and bad. Right, yeah. It is a money does corrupt, power corrupts. Seen it a lot here in DC. Frank says, I live out here in California, just south of where Michael Savage lives. I spent almost $6 to fill up my Maserati, over $120. Wow. Yikes. Yeah. Oil, that is increasing, right? I love how Cash App PayPal wouldn't leave the plane because he didn't have his patches. Then he went to the Olympics and was a real power bomb, shaking all that beer. Of course, $3 of the $6 is because of Gavin Newsom. I was in SFO recently and I paid $27 for a cocktail. Wow. So 43.29, that's a great question. Yeah, and that's kind of the underlying thing, right? Is that it seems like no matter who wins the election, we're still at war in the Middle East. We're still doing this. We're still not getting what we desire. Um, because yeah, like out of especially Trump as an individual, right? Out of everything he discussed, this war in particular was like the biggest no-no. Like the one thing uh, happened. So yeah, we're going to get to the bottom of that. But yeah, I think we just need to. It's not necessarily we're going to vote our way out of it necessarily, but we need to. We need to build a movement around it, and to simply make our ideas more popular than any of the other ideas. Right? That hey, we actually don't want, no matter what. Get some of these members that have been in office for decades, they got to get out, right? They need to be politically removed from power and whatnot. So Markey says economy won't recover for a while. I feel like this is the new normal. Liberty says I'll never recover from this. Tut says, serious question, how many enemies did the U.S. have in the Middle East before 1948? Good question. And right, yeah, and if you look at it like zero, yeah, like it seemed like relations with us in the Arab world was more or less fine, right? And not really, yeah, you didn't have all these wars occurring back then, right? During the world wars, right? They were pretty, all of the Arab countries were neutral or they were conquered, right? You know what I mean? They weren't really, like Iran, you have the 1943 Tehran Conference, right? You know what I mean? So like, yeah, they weren't really threats at all. Ken says gas is $3.70 in northern Michigan. Gas is $1.10 over, it's $1.10 over here. And then Ken says, yep, Iran was an ally till 53. And then Clip said nobody ever attacked the United States as well. And Tut says, another serious question. How many wars has Israel been pushing the U.S. into the Middle East era? Right, yeah, and we talk about that as well. Like we, yeah, definitely more than what we should be. Pretty much all of them, I'd say, right? Like, and the thing is, like, just look at what we're doing to Iran right now. They're never like one of the things that the president and the admin said, the reason that we had to attack Iran is that, oh, they were about to attack us, right? Well, why would they attack us with us having 2 aircraft carriers right outside the Persian Gulf, with all of our stationed, right? We're having these negotiations. How would that make any sense at all? So like, yeah, now Israel on the other hand, they might want to attack Israel, but Israel is not the United States. So, yeah, it should not be our responsibility to parent them through all of this. Ken says, Tehran used to look like LA. Right, yeah, especially even before the 79 revolution. If you look at images, like we're talking about women, yeah, in bikinis, right? Women dressed like, yeah, it looks like LA to your point. So Frank says, Mojab is not going to be the leader. That is not what Iran means. They need to pick a better leader. These guys don't even know who it is. 4329 says Tehran is a beautiful city. It's really sad what's happening to it. I feel like the city of Tehran is not just a place, but a living entity, and it's dying now. Skinny says brute force took 2 years in Gaza and it's still a mess. How will brute force work in Iran? Right. And Tut says the servicemen has bled so much in conflicts that is not really the U.S. problem in the beginning. David Thompson says from inside of Iran's leadership, it makes perfect sense for America to protect itself. 4329 says Tehran is very young and educated population, and it kind of has a stereotype for people being heretics and atheists. The Adazi Tower and the center of Tehran is really pretty. And B4S says, at David, how many Iranian missiles made it to the United States? Yeah, everybody having a good discussion out here about Middle East politics right now, about the war, the conflict in the Middle East. If you're new to the channel, would love if you hit that subscribe button. We are grinding each and every day, building our community in real time with patriots just like yourself. We're here at the U.S. Capitol today taking your questions. Probably going to head over to the Supreme Court building for a couple minutes. We'll hang out there for a little bit. Leave the video a like. Join everybody else in the comment section as well. Check out some of my other videos as well. So happy that you guys are here this morning. Tut says, hope all can have a good week. Greetings from Sweden. See ya. All right. Much love, brother. Thanks for popping in. See, up to 100 and up to 174 votes, it looks like. No is still at 63%. So it's been consistent about, a little over 60% of the voting population on this poll is against the war in Iran. Only about 37% of you are in support of the conflict. Right, yeah, and I think you guys make a good point. Is that so? When I talk about Iran, I'm not trying to argue that they're going to be even have friendly relations with the United States, right? Like, but I just knowing how they have a different the beef they have with us comes from an extension to our country's support for Israel, I believe it is, because as somebody mentioned, is that we were not even in particular conflicts with the Arab countries before 1948. So, yeah, so I think it's for a different reason. Okay, let's see. Check power. Always check power. Un-American not to. Mission accomplished. Constitution is to keep government in check. Bandit says I voted yes, but I wouldn't say I'm in support of the conflict, but it's better to deal with them now than Iran wait till they have nuclear capabilities. Liberty says I'm good on gas. If filled tanks of gas, probably good for the rest of the year. Lone Wolf says, is Iraq, Iran? Question mark. Skinny says Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, lessons of the past. Out here in front of the Supreme Court building today, hanging out with you guys. Happy to take your question. We're having a wonderful chat about the conflict in the Middle East right now. Yeah, talking about if the United States, if we should be involved in this conflict, what we should be doing right now. Yeah, lots of varying opinions. We have some people that are in support of the conflict, explaining their reasons why, and some of the opposition to the war as well, happening in the Awoken chat. So yeah, that's why I made this channel, is that we can have these discussions and debates and sharpen our skills when it comes to making arguments, right? So think of this as like the arena, the practice arena, right? We're trying to send out our best points. We're trying to do this correctly. And when we're in real life, trying to chit chat with people or other situations that we can effectively communicate this stuff, right? So yeah, out in front of the Capitol, in front of the Supreme Court building, just out here taking your questions today. So hey everybody, if you're just now joining the stream, would love if you hit that subscribe button. We're pushing towards 500 rapidly. I believe Ken said around 20-30 minutes ago that we were at 456. So that's already up from 15 from the beginning of this stream. So we're doing quite well with that today. So would love if you subscribe to the channel and joined the Awoken. Leave the video a like, join the comment section down below, and would love to have you on the streams coming up in the future. So yeah, tonight we're going to do some coverage about the Mississippi Senate race, or the Mississippi primaries, I should say, rather, and checking that stuff out as well. Always important to do a cast a wide net of topics we want to be discussing and keeping up on. And then Wednesday night, we're going to be talking all about the Kurds. Been doing some research into those guys. Going to get you a presentation set up. Excited for that. And then next Monday, so instead of having a show next Tuesday on St. Patrick's Day, that Monday night before, we're going to do it just to do a different topic than we've been talking about the Middle East conflict now for some time. So this will get us off of that for at least a day or two, and discuss Ireland and their politics and their history. Yeah. See, we're just out here in front of the building out with you today, taking your questions, getting to know you guys a little better. A pretty cool day out here. Beautiful, gorgeous day. So
I'm taking the mark. I'll probably get there by like 5.
Yeah, lots of chat starting to get a little right now, talking about people are questioning people's intelligence when it comes to debating politics, it looks like right now. But yeah, Ray, if you are new to the channel, would love to encourage you to subscribe to the channel, leave the video a like. We are out here talking politics, getting to know each other a little better, growing the community in real time. So yeah, would love to have you join the Awoken. Yeah, trying to wake people up to the realities of DC and our country. And Michael says, hi, hello, Michael. Thank you for joining the stream today. Appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a wonderful day, man. Yeah, happy to take your questions. Would love to get you on board. I have 180 votes for the poll today. Still about the same numbers as it has been a majority of the day. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go back, try to find what this discussion began with. Okay, so talking about if Iran and Iraq are the same. That's funny, Frank. But yeah, and like, but yeah, like I don't think a lot of people, because let's think of the stuff we have kind of accomplished, or more of a quote accomplished in this conflict. Removed the supreme leader, destroyed a good chunk of the missile launch platforms, stuff like, yeah, it seemed to have degraded their navy, but nothing has really changed as a result of that, right? Like nothing is, the government is still structured. All they did was just appoint another supreme leader to the country. And yeah, like nothing has really changed so far. So, and now we're kind of stuck in it, because if the president of the United States, if his political objectives were for a regime change, and if we leave right now, it's a huge like media propaganda victory for at least the Iranian regime will portray it that way among their population, and they'll only grow stronger. They'll just simply go right back to rebuilding whatever was destroyed. They'll go back to rebuilding nuclear capabilities, nuclear program, repairing the missile launch platforms, and they'll just be right back at full strength again in a couple of months. So the only way I see it is if this conflict continues to escalate, which I'm afraid we're stuck in it, though. I don't know how we can get out of it right now. So, yeah, that's what it just kind of looks like right now, at least. Gro Maloney says, look at what happened in Libya when they abandoned their nuclear program. Right, yeah, Iran, they've seen this story play out before. The regime is built to survive something like this. Um, it's all about, even if you lose a supreme leader, you lose, like other facilities are destroyed or damaged. It's really just meant to be like a mega monster on like a video game, like a super huge monster that no matter how many times you're shooting at it, no matter how many times you throw weapons or bombs, it's just going to kind of keep standing. Even though it may slowly degrade and become weaker, it's just simply like designed to never die. And that's what the Iranian regime is built to do. It's built to never really collapse, no matter how much pressure is under it. And if there wants to be actual regime change,
Playing team.
yeah, I agree with you, Frank. Your most recent comment there. And Lone Wolf says the regime attacked all of its neighboring countries. This isn't the same. They have regional pressure on them now. Right, yeah, what they're trying to do is these other Gulf, and back to regime survival. As we talked about earlier, how does Iran win this war? They win by not defeating the United States or Israel, really. It's outlasting them and preventing regime change and allowing to the point where this pressure is removed, this immediate military pressure is removed, or we retreat or pull back or whatever, and it gives them time to rebuild missile defense program or the drone program, whatever capabilities they have is to rebuild all of that. That's victory in their eyes, is to survive. So if they can get the Gulf countries to basically shut down because they're attacking airports, they're attacking hotels, they're attacking other tourist attractions, tourist areas, urban centers, it will cause the Gulf nations to say, hey, U.S. and Israel, our economy has been shut down the last couple months. There's going to be a panic if you guys don't end this war. So it's a way to put the Gulf countries on kind of a countdown timer as well now, kind of like a countdown clock for the other Gulf Arab nations. So that's the strategy behind that, I think, at least.
What's the last name on your reservation? Yeah, I walked every time.
Correct. Yeah. Ken and Skinny agree with me is that the way they win is just by staying alive, by keeping some remnant of the regime with revolutionary ideals intact. And if there's no regime change, then Iran wins the war, kind of, right? No matter who they lose, no matter if the missile defense program is nearly destroyed, if the drone program is beat up, if the proxies never return, they win just by simply outlasting. And that's what the current regime is. It's built to do that, essentially. So it's going to be really hard to topple it. I'm not sure what we're going to try and topple it. And mind us, the dollar is worthless in Iran right now. The currency has collapsed. They're totally cut off from the rest of the world when it comes to trade. They're economically isolated. They're by themselves, really. Other than Strait of Hormuz oil to China and Russia, they really got nowhere to go for their economy. And when it comes to making money, and because they spend so much money on defense and military capabilities, right? So they're doing this while having no financial oxygen or other help, really. So Now, can they do this another month, another 3 months? I don't know. But for now, the system is doing what it's designed to do. So yeah, good questions and debate there. Vernon says regime change would not only be a chance to change, the political system would also need to be changed. Frank says, if you call that survival, but most people in Iran want to change. Yeah, I'm sure there's I'm sure there's obviously people that are going to be opposed to the regime, opposed to the government, right? If you checked out some of my other videos, I've interviewed Iranian diaspora at anti-Iran regime protests, talked to some people that were exiled from the country in '79 when Ruhollah Khomeini took power as the supreme leader. So there are going to be people opposed to it, certainly. Let's see. Skinny says, need tools for change, encourage Iranian people, submissive by nature. B4S says, then let the Iranians fight for it, not our problem. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are thinking, is that I don't think anyone here is opposed, or like nobody here is jumping up for joy saying, I love the current regime. I love this. They're awesome. Like, yeah, we all get the deal that it's not a good regime, right? But it's one that can't really threaten the United States because they don't have the technology yet for ICBMs or the nuclear capabilities, right? So it doesn't really bother us that much. They're really just kind of maybe an annoying thorn in our side that at times will, through their proxies, attack countries, right? Yeah, we're not saying they're good at all. And sometimes, yeah, they fund the terrorist groups, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, the Popular Mobilization Force in Iraq, when the Revolutionary Guard was in Syria, when Assad was around, right? So they can be a thorn in the side, but nothing that we can't handle, right? So Markey says, so did the people in Iraq, they wanted to get rid of the dictator, yet they ended up without a stable government. To this day, there's no actual plan in motion, then it would just not end well. B4S says Saddam was the only dude keeping the region in check. Frank says, can they have a fair election in Iran and appoint their own leader? Markey says, because after his removal, there was no structure for a functioning system. Grome Malone says Iran has every right to fund those groups. B4S says, and if we weren't in the region, they couldn't attack us with their proxies. Good point. 4329 says, even as an Iranian, I think even if the U.S. tries their best to make Iran stable and democratic after the regime change, top-down regime change is always a bad idea. It has to be bottom-up. Vernon says, Frank, you are making no sense. Frank says, Markey, who do you suggest to help them with the framework of a functional system, the structuring of a new system? 4329 says, maybe next time I go to DC, I can see you in person and I wear a suit like you and we could have a nice conversation and enjoy it. Markey says, at Frank, the people attempting to remove the existing government, LOL, otherwise no point getting involved. And B4S says we can sell them guns, but that's it. 194 votes, still about, 2/3 are opposed, about 1/3 is in support. It's been around that percentage all day. We're out here walking around DC. Probably in the next couple minutes, going to start wrapping up the stream. I got to head to work here at some point. But but we'll stay on another couple minutes, try and talk to some more people, see if we can get a couple more subscribers before we end. Believe Ken said we're at 456, but that was around an hour ago. So maybe we've snagged a couple more subscribers and that have joined our movement. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. Thankful that you guys have been very active today on the chat and just wanting to get involved and getting to know each other better. So Ken says 457. All right, wonderful. So we're up another now. That's great. B4S says, I'm going to bed. Wife's yelling at me now. All right, brother. Well, thanks for joining the stream this morning. Appreciate you being here, man. We'll catch you next time. Good night, man. Okay, guys. Still talking about the Middle East. It looks like in here, for the most part, still some excellent conversation going on with Frank, Bryant, Ken, and Markey, as well as 4329 as well. And Grumloni, what do you do for the private sector? I help a bunch of nonprofits in the area with their finances, making sure everything's in check. Went on over there. So on that sector of it. But hey, everybody. So I think, probably going to wrap it up in the next minute or two here. I'm almost there. But hey, wonderful stream. It was great talking with all of you this morning. We are building something once again every single day. We'll do a stream tonight for a little bit. We'll talk about primary elections going on tonight. Tomorrow morning, we'll do another one of these. We'll walk around DC, get to know you guys, all that good deal, all that stuff. And then Wednesday night, we'll talk about the Kurds. So, all right, buddy, if you're new to the stream, would love if you left the video a like, if you subscribe to the channel so you can join the next streams as well. And we'll keep building this movement, guys. All right. So, great effort today. Great progress, and we are advancing. So, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Skinny. I appreciate everyone's support, and you have been awoken with all of them. All right. Much love, everybody. We will catch you a little later tonight for a desktop kind of stream about primary elections in Mississippi and elsewhere in the country. Talk about some of the candidates running. So, all right, everybody. We will see you soon. All right. Much love.